James Elder, IFL-TV MTK Global. With me, I've got none other than Kid Galahad in the home of Kid Galahad in Sheffield. Firstly, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. What was Fuerteventura saying?
It was good, you know. The weather wasn't the best, but you know, we got on with it and we trained hard. We had Billy Joe Saunders out there. We had a kid called Terry Flanagan, world champion. We had Kel Brook. We had me, and we had Atif Shafiq. So it was a good camp.
Well, you got to spend a bit of time with IFL-TV's very own Scotty Silver as well.
Yeah,
you and him bonded quite well, I'm hearing. Good times.
He does, you know, every time we go out there, he always comes over and gives us a good interview. So it's all good. It's all good in the hood.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with Kid Galahad. I mean, are you signed with Eddie Hearn now? Is this a fighting on Kel Brook sort of undercard? Is this something you hope to work with in the future? What's the plan? What's the plan moving forward?
You need to get him in this interview here. You need to get
Eddie. Go on.
He wants to talk to you. Yeah.
Eddie, we just asked the key question. Is he going to be signed by you? Is he fighting just on Brook's undercard? And he was like, let's bring the man in and ask him a few quick fire questions.
Oh, don't know if that's safe. My fat ass. Yeah, the plan is, I don't really see the point in just giving Kid Galahad one fight on a card and bringing someone in and paying someone to just appear on a card. So yeah, the plan is to work together long term. I think he's in a great position with the IBF. I mean, he's going to be put forward for a final eliminator next, and then he'll be the man. If he wins that, he'll be the mandatory for the Selby Warrington winner. So I think that, and I know because I was on the other side of the fence, he's not really someone that you'd look at as an opponent and go, yeah, we'll pick him, because he's awkward as fuck, can punch, you know, and I think he's probably quite annoying in the press conferences and stuff like that. So most people go, no, I'm not fighting Kid Galahad. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think he's going to get the voluntary picks against these champions, and he doesn't yet have the profile to necessarily warrant a voluntary pick. Hopefully that starts March the 3rd, live on Sky, and being part of a vibrant featherweight division. Got Scott Quigg against Valdez on Sky Sports on March 10th. Brilliant fight. Yeah. Very tough fight, but one I believe Scott can win. You've got Frampton fighting Donaire. You've got Selby against Warrington. So what a time to be. In British boxing, you used to sort of look at 4 or 5 divisions and pull out the good ones domestically. Now, every single division, you can talk about great domestic fights. So featherweight is right up there.
Do you feel that Kid Galahad will have to get himself into a mandatory sort of position before anyone takes a chance of giving him an opportunity?
Or you raise his profile to a level where choosing him is a big fight. But at the moment, because his profile has not been risen, if you like, he's not the guy you'd pick for a voluntary change, because one, he's good, and one, he's awkward.
Skillful, not awkward. Skillful. That's what people say. You're trying to say, oh, he's awkward. No,
yeah, but you are awkward, but you're skillfully awkward. But you're definitely awkward.
No, do you know what a Biku? You know what a Biku is? I think Fractionate boxer.
A Biku?
Yeah, black kid.
Sako Biku?
Yeah, he's awkward. He's
not
awkward.
No,
he's awkward.
No.
I'm not that awkward.
No, you are awkward because you're very skillful. But I still think you're tricky.
Tricky like a bag load of monkeys.
You're tricky. You're tricky, but tricky and awkward are very similar.
Boxing's gone full circle. I mean, from the days you was managing Frampton to obviously your relationship and close working relationship with Scott Quigg. You never managed. Sorry, from the days you promoted Frampton, do get that right, sorry Barry. Promoted Frampton, from then obviously your close working relationship with Scott Quigg. Did you ever feel that you and Kid Galahad would come together?
We've nearly done stuff a few times, really. But you know, he had obviously he was boxing on Channel 5, and then he had his time out of the ring. So I feel like now's a good time in the featherweight division. He's got to look good on March 3rd, which is quite tough because he's in with a really good opponent actually, but tricky, awkward.
Ivor Berry.
Yeah, but look at Berry's resume, the guys he's fought. I mean, he's very awkward, but the pressure's on to look good, and it's very hard to do that against a good fighter and someone who is awkward.
Someone who's very awkward.
Genuinely awkward.
But also durable.
Yeah,
like who's he boxed? Gonzalez.
He boxed Jonathan Gonzalez in his last fight. He's boxed Nicholas Walters.
Yeah.
Barros.
Points with all of those guys, isn't he?
Is durable translated to he should win, but it's going to be a tough test?
He will win, but there's winning and there's looking good. It's quite difficult to look good against Berry, but it's probably the kind of fight he needs to prepare him for the big tests. But it doesn't matter how awkward he is, or tricky he is, or tough to look good against. He must look good because you only get one shot, otherwise they come crashing down on you. I mean, look at, Chamberlain against Cody. Now all of a sudden it's like, I'm never watching them two again. Oh, I mean, people are very, very critical. But that's the world we live in, and you have to look good.
Who wins Scott Quigg, Oscar Valdez, in your opinion?
It's a tough fight to call, I think Valdez might just nick it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Scott Quigg puts him down. Or he could knock him out. Scott Quigg can punch, He's not probably the skillfulest, but he can punch.
What about Selby Warrington?
Someone was asking me that. What do you think?
I think Selby wins.
I think Selby.
But it's going to be lively there, and you don't know if Selby might just freeze or might. I mean, on paper, skill set wise, you should say Warrington's made for Lee Selby.
That's true.
But with 10, 15,000 mad Leeds fans and all the Cardiff massive, as Chris Saniger said, all the football fans coming up, it's going to be a very lively night.
You sound like you miss Leeds a little bit. Is it a regret for you that you're not working
never
with
regrets
Warrington?
Because, it was essentially my decision. If I wanted to pay up for the type of fights that Josh Warrington wanted to have, I would have done it. And I could have done it, and I could have kept him. But we had a different opinion in terms of the fights that he wanted to have. I wanted him to fight Lee Selby last July, and he didn't want to do it. He wanted to fight someone else. So when that happens, and maybe it's arrogance on my part, I sort of lose a little bit of, I don't know, maybe love, because if the world title shot's there, if I ever said to Kid Galahad, I've got you the world title shot in your backyard in Leeds against, if I said to him, I've got you Selby in Sheffield, and you said, oh no, I'll have one or two more. I mean, it's not necessarily Josh Warrington, but the people around him, advising him, the training team, didn't want the fight right then. And I felt like you can't turn down opportunities like that. Listen, it's worked out all right. They've got the fight in the end, but it's not as big a fight as it would have been last July. I guarantee you that.
Kel had to go all the way out to America to go and fight.
It was never, I'm not going out there. It was, pack the bags and go. If you're good enough, you win. That's the simple rule in life, actually, and in sport. If you're good enough, you win. If you're not, you don't.
World Boxing Super Series this weekend. If there was a potential featherweight one, would you consider throwing your name into the hat?
Yeah, of course I would. It depends on the, who's the money. That's what it depends on.
Who would you like to see in a featherweight one?
Well, it won't happen because there's certain promoters that won't put their fighters in the series, and that's a problem the series are going to have.
Yeah,
when you look at weight divisions, look, I mean, we've had 3 fighters in these first 2 series. If the deal is right, if the opportunity is right, I encourage people to go in. If it's not, you don't. But the problem you're going to have with the series is, and like with the featherweights, for example, if you want to win a world title, there's no point going in the featherweight super series if there's only one or if there's no world titles, because you're just going in for the money, aren't you? Really. But if you want to be a world champion, like the good thing about the cruiserweights is all 4 champs went in. Brilliant.
That division,
exactly.
It set the tone as well for the tournament, didn't it? I mean,
but now you're under pressure. You've got to make sure that all the other weight classes you do, all the world champs go in. Because if I was representing Barry and there was a featherweight one, but there was no world titles in it,
it's a bit of a
right, what are you in the game for? To be honest with you, listen, everyone wants to earn as much money as possible, but if you don't show me the passion to win a world title, I'm not really that motivated for you. I want you to want to win a world title so bad and to be a champion, because that's why you started the game. You never went to the gym when you were a kid and said, I want to earn as much money as possible.
Barry, can you comment on that?
Yeah, it's true, innit? That's, you have dreams about becoming a world champion, and the thing is, it comes with it anyway. So when you become world champion, the big paydays come with it. Eventually, they will come.
But also, when all is said and done, to sit there on your sofa with your big belly and your cup of tea and biscuits and look up on the wall and see that world championship belt or photos of you when you won it and everyone celebrating, you can't buy that.
Can't imagine Barry, sort of 12 stone, sitting on the sofa.
12 stone?
I
might struggle to get up to 10.
I can't see it. I just think he'll be one of them people that's always sort of in shape.
Got to always be on it.
All right. Anything you want to add before we go?
Do you want to add anything?
No. Get there March the 3rd. It's a great card. Brooke Rabchenko is a brilliant fight. I think people don't really realise how tough a fight that is to return into, having been out. Been out for 9-10 months and coming off Golovkin and Spence. I think he deserves an easier fight, but he wanted a fight to test him. Kid Galahad back in front of his home fans. A brilliant local derby between Lee Appleyard and Atif Shafiq, your boy. Tough fight for Atif, but a great opportunity.
For both of them.
Brilliant super bantamweight fight, which is your old weight. Gavin McDonald. Well, I've got both guys. So
what would you think?
I think if you're analysing the fight, you say Gavin's really got the bit between his teeth.
Yeah.
He's sort of saying, "I'll tell you what, I'm so up for this fight." You know, because Gavin is overachieved in his career, or certainly to what he thought he would achieve.
Yeah.
When he won an area title, Gavin McDonald, he couldn't believe it. Then he won the British title, stopped Lee Wood.
Yeah.
Then he won the European title. Then he fought for the world title. So he has nothing to lose. Gamal has everything to lose.
Because everyone expects him to win.
But Gamal is very underrated as a boxer, and he also hits very, very hard.
Good left hook.
I think it's a pure 50-50 fight. If Gamal fires a world-class fighter and can go on to become a world champion, he has to win on Saturday. And again, if Gavin McDonald wants to keep his career alive at that level, he has to win. So that's a brilliant fight. Dave Allen.
Any advice for Dave Allen now? Get your tactical coach head on. Anything you want to say?
When he's experienced what he's experienced, don't forget he boxed for the Commonwealth title at Bramall Lane under a lot of pressure and the whole internet behind him. But he's realised that he made mistakes, not just in the fight, but in the preparation of that fight as well. And I think his mindset will change. What you will see on March the 3rd is a man possessed, a man that is desperate to not let another opportunity slip through his fingers. And I'll tell you what, if Dave Allen can do it and become Commonwealth champion, I will go fucking mental.
Would it be up there with some of your bigger achievements?
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite Carl Froch beating Lucien Boutte or Kell Brook beating Sean Porter or Joshua Klitschko. Yeah, but it means, you know, to see someone happy and to see someone achieve, and again, it goes back to, I know that if Dave Allen can win that fight, he will live the rest of his life as a content man. And that's very nice to be able to provide that for someone. So
he's a nice fella.
He is a lovely fella.
You've been brilliant with Dave Allen. He has been very good to Dave Allen.
But listen, there's a method to the madness as well. If Dave Allen wasn't as popular, he's selling a lot of tickets, by the way, now, Dave Allen. He's got a big following. If no one even cared about, I wouldn't give him the same opportunities.
I remember when he used to struggle to sell less than 20 tickets.
Yeah, he's selling like 400 or 500 tickets.
Incredible.
But, you know, it's not just a case of, oh, Eddie's a nice guy, he's giving him the opportunities. I want to do it because I'd love to see him achieve, but also he can fight and he is funny, he is a character, people do like him, and it's a great story. And people will tune in to see if he can beat Leroy Thomas. And if he does beat Leroy Thomas, there's some big fights out there domestically in the heavyweight division.
I think everybody's willing sort of Dave Allen on across the country. He's a genuinely likeable person and someone that you can't help but like.
Exactly.
Spend time with. Lads, thank you very much for your time today.
No worries.
Great pleasure. See you soon.